Okay. Yeah, so as I wait for questions, I'm just playing around with the character module. I'm going to show a couple of things that I saw questions about. So there are two different types of avatars, and two different genders, male and female, and then you can see the male and female in here. And then you have your meta-human characters and your normal characters. Um, Most noticeable is obviously like the facial fidelity of these meta-human characters. See, I have like wrinkle maps and everything. You can intensify that as well. So what I usually do with these stylized ones, give it a bit more kind of expression here. So compared to the other characters, let's see if to select. I'll take a somewhat similar guy. You see, these don't have the wrinkle maps that the meta humans have, and but that said, they are optimized for performance, so you can have more of these in there. Also, if you have a slower machine, I would suggest working with these ones. Additionally to that, I still have the feeling that the lip sync works a bit better on these when using AI in the script generator. Because the metahumans we're still working on a lot of stuff. Yeah, but in terms of like facial capture, as you can see, and again here, let me I can also adjust this a little bit. Let me put him in just a simple pose. So that's the difference in the characters. Both work with the rigging system, so you can adjust the proportions just like the other one. So let's say we want to have a similar kind of size. And both work with the hairstyle system of the grooms. So you can put the same kind of hairstyles on there. Meta-humans, they don't have the regular or stylized hair yet. But yeah, this will be kind of upgraded and so on. So you have a few more kind of options on the non-meta human characters. But yeah, we'll be adding more and more stuff. You see that here, some of the meta human hairstyles are coming in. This is the one that I love. I love the mullet. Very nice mullet. Yeah, so you see this one has the physics on. I can switch that on this one as well. Yeah, I was hoping for some questions. What I could do, yeah, I'll just keep working on the avatar system and keep playing with it till there's a question. Yeah, you have the beards, again, regular room-based beards. I like these ones a lot. Actually, the longer ones are pretty good. Ah, great. Question, can we use Rococo just for the hands? I only see it available. Yeah, so I saw your question about that. We probably could, because what you could I know that it comes in with the whole body. But if you want to use, yeah, there's no reason why we shouldn't add Rococo to this. I'll log that as a request. But if you wanted to do just the hands, for example, what you can always do is when you're doing your recording, right? So if I'm adding this this guy here, I can say just use the switch everything off, right? Just like hand left and hand right. So now you could have it basically on. Now you could have the whole body come in, right? In your Rococo source. And then you'd only capture the hand left and right. So that's how you can do that. But yeah, we'll take a look. We'll take a look at that and see if we can just add it to the hands. But you have a very kind of flexible way in terms of like capturing these animations, and we mainly did that in order to support as many sources as possible, right? So you could literally, my workflow is like I capture my face on an iPhone, and I do my upper body when I'm testing. Just from the webcam. And when I want to do something more serious, I put my perception neuron suit on. So yeah, it's a lot of flexibility there. Is there anything else I can show in the meantime? You even have actually the game controller, which is quite fun. Especially for like stylized characters, or if you want to, create like a fake looking game or something like that. Good question. So let me see actually. So when you're basically streaming, you can also do that from here, by the way. So you can either go into the streamer mode or start stop virtual camera. So if you wanted to have like the most control, I would probably do that here. So let's see. so now my virtual camera is on. So if I load like a Zoom app or something, I should be able to basically pick this up. Yeah, so here's my Zoom. So now it's taking the full viewport in here. So if I wanted to have a different camera, I can just put in whatever I want, right? So in our, let me actually open like a demo streaming setup. So the way we did that was, let's see, this one here was pretty cool. So what you can do basically is put a bunch of cameras on the timeline, like here, right? I'll select my guy, switch my face cap on. I'll do my body as well. Actually, in the meantime, actually, I saw there was a lot of questions regarding how these apps work. You know, there's a ton of these VMC apps. There's also some that you can just pose and whatever. I'm using this free one right here. So what I'll do is like everything is set to default here. Yeah. So I just have my camera selected. What's very nice here is to have a wide angle camera, you know, because that covers your, you know, you want to be able to cover like a wide field of view. So what I'll do, this is literally start camera, start sender VMC, and this should now, hang on, start camera. Oh, my camera is being, oh, here we go. See, so that's basically literally taking the webcam feed. So let's say we have this here. You see here, for example, already like the camera probably need to, you want to keep your hands in frame, right? So if you have like a wide angle lens and you put it a little bit higher, looking down all the way till your hands can on the desk, you get the best kind of results. But what I wanted to show here is basically the cameras, right? So and how you can work with that. So here you see there's a couple of different setups done. I'll fix this one here to make that tracking. Same here. Let's push that in a little bit. So what you could do now is basically put this on this timeline on your second monitor and just like hit like P to remove the FPS and D to remove the gizmos, and you hit U for full screen. So now I'm basically streaming, but if I wanted to change angle, I can do that quite easily. So that's a pretty good way to stream. Hey, oh, wait. Actually, let me show that in Zoom. Where was Zoom? Oh yeah, so and you can also run this straight into OBS actually. But I was actually testing, you know, I thought it would make a difference on the latency. it's pretty much the same. I thought the virtual camera would have less latency when going into OBS. But yeah, so that's how you stream into directly from Replikant with the virtual camera. Yeah, and there's, I mean, depending on how many people will start using it, there's a lot of really cool things that can be done with streaming, like embedding the chat windows and so on. That's definitely something that's on our radar if this ends up getting used a lot. So it would be cool to do things. So you can have like audience interactions and so on. You could possibly do that now with hotkeys. And you can also always have him like, look at the camera, right? So for example, the head is always looking at the camera. And you can add that here. For example, the eyes look at. So you see now my eyes are always looking, no matter what camera it is. The eyes will always adjust to, should always adjust. Yeah, they always look at the camera. Can do that with the head as well. Yeah, then any other questions? Oh, actually, so what I also kind of recently kind of found out is that in VLC, or I was helped with this, you can set up different kind of crops. So it's quite nice to be able to toggle between full screen here and then you crop. About the tokens, how many tokens are you using per line? Oh, okay, let me show you that. So let's go to the script writer. I'll start a new sequence. Edit. So with the tokens, what we're basically doing is just deferring the cost to the user, right? So if you go to preferences and you have your services here, if you set like display AI budget warning and display AI budget notifications, it will kind of preempt what it's going to cost. If you like, basically like the OpenAI is very, very cheap. You can do like a lot with the tokens that we already give with the install. And if you use like Google text to speech for your actually, let's see, we say how many tokens average per generated line. I don't know by heart, but it's easy to test. So I have my budget on now. I'm going to say let's have actually let's have him sit here. Kind of want him to sit somewhere else. Anyway, I'll take this. So I'm gonna put this on 3.5 turbo. GPT-4 is currently kind of there are some issues with it, so I'm putting this one on here. And let's say we want to do 10 lines. Just leave everything by default. So what you should be able to see now here is when I press generate script, you'll see this feature costs AI tokens. Estimated cost 1.3 token. So if I say you can cancel if you don't want to do that. If you say okay, which I'll do in this case, it will actually go and generate this, and I have that, and it will tell you as well exactly how much it's spent. So the other kind of part is actually, let me just get this guy a little bit more in the light. It's a bit better. Then the next step is, and we kind of split that because not everybody wants to use like voices and so on. So in the next step from here, once you've made this script, you can also type this by hand, obviously. So here you can now basically kind of say what you want to generate, so you could basically force it to use Google TTS, which I'll do that right now. So the voice that is allotted to this character. So now basically when we save the characters, and you can save your own ones for this, but when this one is saved, you also save. Oh, you see this one already has now the Google voice, so that's great. So this is basically the way we like to use this, is as like a timing test for your script. And like yeah, so basically once you've done this, you have like something that you can send to a voiceover artist, and record the proper way. So where was I? So I'm in my script right now. Let's say I'm happy with this script. I'm now going to say build this sequence. So again, it's going to tell me, you see this costs like 0.66 tokens, which, what is that, like I think that's like less than half of a cent or something. Let me switch my mocap off for this. So now once I have this,
Noticed how comedy can be found in the most unexpected place.
Okay, let's just fix these cameras. So the reason this is basically not in the right kind of place is that I picked when you look at your kind of environments here, you see a lot of them, the difference between these, like no AI, they don't have like a procedural system yet. So you have to kind of manually kind of place the characters and so on. All the other ones, they're already kind of working with the script writer. This is one of the things that we do, when we're kind of making new assets or ingesting things. So here I quickly fixed that, obviously want to look at his face. And then I'll look at the next camera. This is a really nice kind of little thing here, that when you select these cameras, you're automatically selected here. It's a huge time saver. So let's say I want this one to be here. I want to go a little bit tighter on the face. Here we go. Same here. So now when I would render this,
Have you ever noticed how comedy can be?
And if you want to swap this around, you can literally kind of load your own kind of audio file in, right? So that's the cool part of it. So as long as you keep it like the same kind of length, they're super easy to swap around. So I can show that here. For example, let's say we're going to change this one. So say edit. Let's say if you notice, this is how you change audio files quickly. So you can either kind of remove this and replace it, or I can say let's generate like a new one, right? Let's say I'm using the 11 Labs one for this. I can say give me a couple of different takes. Generate, oh, no typist, this is how so when I basically generate these, it will also give me, because it's using AI, it's also giving me a cost for this. And that's basically like everything that we did green, that has tokens kind of attached to it. So now I can see.
This is how you change audio files quickly in Replikant.
Oh, shit, I have it still on overrule. So I need to fix that. All right, so I took that off now. So now back to my animation. Edit. Can I do my own script but use AI? Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can do that. You know, actually, let's do that. Let's make a new one. Actually, let me just quickly show how this works. So basically, you have the 11 labs. So you take, I'll take a different voice here. Let's say I'll take Dave. And you can basically, these ones here, they're all kind of pre-rendered.
This is a preview so you can understand how this voice sounds.
They're pre-rendered, you know, so we kind of compile those voices in the build, so you don't need to pay for these previews. But let's see. So you saw how little the Google was. Let's say we take this one now. I want to take like, I took 3 takes. Generate. Not that much difference, I guess, unless it's still overruling this. Let me see.
This is how you do AI voices in Replikant.
Yeah, you see now I have 3.
This is how you do AI voices in Replikant.
They have like a couple
This
of
is
different.
how you do AI voices in Replikant.
3 different options. So if I select this now, that's a cool part of it. This lip sync here will be basically,
This is how you do AI voices in Replikant.
you know, that's automatically adjusting. So if I want this character to, this is definitely something I'd recommend. It's these multipliers, you can adjust that, and you get like, you got to balance that out a little bit and see what works best.
You do AI voices in Replikant.
So now he has a bit more, but let me, what control do you have over the animation when we generate a new script? You have full control, actually. So basically the script that was just generated, and that's a cool part, you know, that's, we really wanted to have anything AI needs to be of service to the artist, right? So that's why I'm what we wanted to make was basically something that's generative, but there's no point in doing something generative if you can't change it. So if we start from the beginning and go from like the simplified UI, you can always go back, and this is what's done under the hood, right? So when I was building this, you saw that, you know, if I do that again, can't remember if we were watching it. If I wanna, let's say, okay, cool, I want him to be amused. No, he's not. I want him to be like frustrated, right? I don't want to have anything. I want it to be sad. I want to overrule these kind of gestures and emotive states. I can do that. And I will generate a new script or a new timeline, and you will see that how this is basically working. So you see this is built, and you have different animation, you know, and
Found in the most unexpected places.
you can either do that by
Sometimes
regenerating
it's
it,
the subtle jokes
but you
that
can also basically go to your animation tab, and everything is here, right? So this talking anxious with both hands, you know, it seems a little bit over the top. Maybe we just want to have a normal talk where he's having a dialogue here. So, and then I can just drag that in, you know, tweak it. It automatically kind of slides. It automatically adjusts. It's also a bit over the top. Let's say we want to have like just an angry hand here.
Have you ever noticed how comedy can be found in the most unexpected places?
Maybe I would just want him to have like, want it relaxed, you know, so I can just trim this in and
How comedy can be
change
found
this
in the
over.
most unexpected places? Sometimes it's the
Yeah, we do.
Noticed how comedy can be found in the most unexpected
Yeah, we
places?
do want to add control rig. We're like on an older version of Unreal because it's a custom engine. So as soon as we kind of move to 5.3, we'll start looking into that. For now, we're showing that before. For now, because this works so layer based, there is a way to adjust these things, right? So for example, if I want to have another track on top of this, say like a body animation, say I want to have another body animation on top of this. Let's say we take a pose, or we can take another animation, whatever you want. Let's go to my poses. They're easier to see. Oops, I think I crashed something here. I made a keyframe that I shouldn't have done. Crap. Yeah, so yes to future plans for control rig. How to combine difference, yeah, to continuous motion. Yeah, that's what I was just gonna do before I accidentally clicked that keyframe that seems to have crashed it. I might need to restart, sorry about that. Yeah, there's something out with the keyframes on this version. That's why it's not moved to Epic Store yet. Because we're staging everything on our dev version on the Steam store, which we want to roll out at some point. What is going on? Stop. Damn it. I'll just quickly relaunch it. Yeah, like I said, this is the dev version. If you see these type of things though in the one from the Epic Store, please let us know, because then we need to fix that immediately. But yeah, I'm running a dev version here. I saw somebody pick that already up. Okay, so let's go. What was the other question? Okay, cool. So let's go and make our own script and adjust the animation in that. Let's do this diner here, and then we'll do Pulp Fiction scene or something. I'm gonna say one guy. So what I wanted to show, so if the background says like AI or no AI, if it basically says no AI, then this procedural placement isn't possible. You see what I'm doing here, right? So I basically toggle through the scene, and it automatically places objects in a procedural kind of way. So for this, I'm gonna just take one actor. I'm gonna keep him. Actually, I'm gonna make him a bit cooler. Let's say we do a human. Let's say we do this guy here. Then I'm going to take a script that we already have made. Actually, I was just looking at some of this stuff. So let's take a couple of lines, Pulp Fiction here. So I'm quickly checking what this is all set to. Probably want to have a little bit more on the facial, and that multiplier a little bit more. So now I go into my script tab. And what I can do here is basically say, first one, actually it might be a bit long. This, I'll add new kind of, I'll break this script up a little bit, right? Let's give it a couple more lines here. So again, let's say he's doing this in a frustrated way, angry, neutral. Okay, and then you can place your cameras here. You know, say we want to start on a wide, go in on a close up, medium, and basically end on another kind of wide. So now I can basically just run the, I need to make sure that he's selected. Yeah, so now I can basically just run that, you know, without having to generate anything. So I'll say create. It's going to do the voices. That's why it's giving us a heads up here.
Here's this passage I got memorized. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. I've been saying that shit for years.
So, you know, anyone that has kind of some skills in 3D will go like, oh, this is like this needs a lot of work, right? But we made this so that basically a simple, like somebody that I got my not that my dad is simple, but I got my dad making content. So you literally kind of pick your scene, set the stage, pick your actor from presets or make it yourself, type in a script or generate it and preview it, right? So this is like the, you know, simplest or the lowest kind of barrier to entry for animation, kind of like what we think, right? Kind of like the iMovie version, I guess. So you can render this and WhatsApp it or do whatever you want with this. But the cool thing is that if you go here to exit to your adding support for Sony Mokopi, interesting actually. We could do that if people like that. I looked at the reviews from that and people didn't seem to think it was very good. But if you guys have that, I think they already have support, so it should be reasonably easy to add. If that's something that's desired, we can definitely look into that. But yeah, so what I wanted to show is that we did this simplified mode, and now still everything that we generated is here, right? So even though it was generative, you have full control over this. If you want to change anything in here, you have the ability to do so, right? I would start with the light, for example. You know, there's no kind of advanced kind of lighting in here. You know, you can go and like switch these lighting rigs on and off, or in the scene. I'm gonna just add a lighting rig here. Say I need to see where he's actually positioned the rig. So I'll add this one here. And then this one was set for the center. I will just move that to where my character is. And you know, in order to kind of see a little bit more, I can switch some lights off here. Let's see what we have. Switch some of these spotlights off. switch that off, so make it a bit darker, moodier, whatever. So you have that full kind of control of doing things. Then let me go back to where I just first crashed, and I'll show you how this can be done. So let's go and work with this, right? So we have let's say we're gonna add another camera shot in here first. There's several different ways of doing it. The way I love working with this is basically working my viewport. Say I wanted to have like a super tight close up here. And I'll do new camera from viewport. So I will create this camera, and now I create that camera to the timeline. Basically, when I'm making things, because I never really get proper time for stuff, I'm always trying to kind of like hack and see how I can kind of avoid certain kind of flaws or whatever. So you can really kind of build your edit and your animation at the same time, which is super nice. And you jump between this and your scene overview, right? So now I can add another one, but you see I have now added when I activate the cameras on here, I have added this, now let's say that we think this guy needs to look a little bit more like a zombie or so, right? Because he's very kind of well organized here. Actually, let's move this a little bit closer in. If I want to do that, there's also always like the open camera preview or open camera preview and edit. So I'm going to do this. I don't want to have so much of that table on here. So now I can basically hold right click and use WASD to push in and get a shot that I would like a bit more, so let's say I want to be a bit more here, and all I need to do is basically say update, and if you want to set keyframes, you can do that as well. So now this one's updated, looks a bit better. This one, maybe here I kind of want to go in and have a end on a super close up. I'll do the same thing here again. You see it has a bit of an offset here, because all these cameras, they're set up to track. So if you want to move your characters around, the timeline kind of adjusts with it. But let's say I want to have more of a zombie kind of atmosphere for this guy. Let's actually do that. So we have our full body animation here. I'm going to add a body animation, which I have here. Then I'll type in zombie. Gotta have that on here. Okay, let's see what we have here then. Zombies, there you go. Oh, it doesn't have a good label. So when I select this character, this is also something that I really love. It's like you basically go over this and you see that in full action here. So yeah, let's say we take this zombie on fire. I will now drag that on this one, and I'm going to extend it, and basically, oh, actually this actually he falls when he's on fire. I didn't want that. I just want the hands moving. Okay, so on fire 1. Okay, we can do this one at the end. Okay, so he's gonna basically fall at the end. Now I basically have this one extend loop. I'll do that here. Now we'll kind of loop that, and here it will blend into the on fire 1. So if we look through this now,
Here's this passage I got.
Still has that in it. Okay, well I'll go work around that. So I could have chopped this off where I kind of wanted it, but I'm going to show another kind of way of doing that in terms of blending. So now this track, you see it has a weight of 1, so it's overruling the body tracks below. Now, let's say I want him to come in here, but I don't want him to fall. So then I'm going to set that weight here to 0. So now it has a keyframe that we're basically kind of going back to this. I'm not looking at the head right now. Then I can put my, track up to here to where that loop came. You know, make sure that this one is still at 0. And so now that blends.
Evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill,
And
shepherds.
maybe I want to have like that going to 0.6. So now these animations are mixed with what you have underneath here. I want them to be, before he falls over, I want it to be 0. And then I want it to be 0 still here. And here I want it to be, let's say 0.8. And then it will blend into
Great vengeance and furious
what I
anger,
saw was
those who
there.
attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. I've been saying that shit for years.
Okay, so it's falling a little bit far out. So let's say we move them up a little bit. So now I'll put the camera on. Let's see how this plays out. So now we merged basically a facial animation of a natural smile. And we can also overrule this as well. So now we basically do.
Here's this passage I got memorized. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. I've been saying that shit for years.
Okay. So now let's say, this auto facial, this camera is definitely a little bit too tight. Gonna move him. Actually, I'm gonna move that onto 50 and move it back. Give this a tracking focus. Let's turn him actually a little bit more into a zombie quickly. So I can adjust the skin. Maybe not too much. Maybe some blood on him as well. Okay.
Passage I got memorized. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds
Maybe
the weak
that was
through.
too much here, you know, so maybe I want to say, let's move this to 1.4, 0.4, you know, now this is going to take more of this track in. But now let's say, you know what, I'm not feeling that facial animation, right? I want to actually go and record this myself because I think I can do a better job at it. What I would do now is like I keep this as a you know, bit of a backup. I'm gonna leave this off. This one is basically, when you see here to edit, you see that the lip sync target is Ezekiel Martin, right? So that is driving the lip sync. I do want to keep that, but I just want to make my own kind of expressions. So what I'll do here is basically go to add another facial track. Then I will switch on my motion capture. And I will take the head that I have here. Maybe kind of increase it a little bit. So I'm just going to pull some faces here. I'm not going to talk because I'm going to use the, you know, I could either, hang on, let me switch this off. I could either revoice it, or I could basically record here, and that's what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to use my mouse, so it's going to be just expressions here. And I'll say record. I don't need my voice, so I'll switch, audio is off. And then we go here. Split, yeah, okay, that's the face, record.
Here's this passage I got memorized. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. I've been saying that shit for years.
So now I kind of stop this. And you see that this take, I can switch this head off now. See that this take is here. Let me just freeze that hair for a second. I'll go back here. Styles. Adjustment. Switch the physics off. So now, this is basically adding the recorded motion and overruling this, what I have here.
5:17.
You see,
The
I was
path of
moving
the
my
righteous
eyebrows
man
a
is
lot.
beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance.
And if I kind of wanted to, you know, tone it down with a pose or whatever, you can do that. For example, right? Let's say we want to have. Just going to use an example here. Let's say we have. Let's take a pistol grip or something. Actually, let's say I want him to use these kind of the boxing kind of hands, right? So this is the same way as you would basically record from your Rococo gloves, right? So I would say body animation on top of this. Take this one, this pose, and basically kind of, you know, extend it. But I would see now nothing's moving. But here I would say basically upper body off, lower body off, just left and right hand. So what you'll see now is that he has his hands put in a fist, right? And if I switch that off, it's kind of... So this is how you can adjust kind of animations in a very kind of modular way. And, you know, what for us was important, basically make stuff when you don't have any mocap gear or anything, because this voice lip sync stuff you can even do with just a microphone. So if you have a just a microphone, you can do that.
5:17. The path of the righteous man is beset in the name
And
of
again,
charity
here you
and
could,
goodwill.
if you wanted to, you know, if you wanted to basically have his fist bulge only for a little bit, you know, I could say maybe he's going to start with the fist and he's going to go like this, and, you know, so he starts here. We're going to say he makes a fist. One, and see the hands open now and go back to normal. So that's how you can kind of add things here and there. So yeah, what's that? I hope that answered your question. But yeah, that's obviously, you know, till we have some kind of support for control rig. But it's very easy to kind of get carried away because, you know, we like making animations. But, you know, we initially kind of made this for basically for YouTubers. But yeah, definitely, it's definitely something we will start looking into. Any other questions before I wrap it up? See if I can save a nice thumbnail here. Changing my preferences, graphics to quality, and I can set this to high or epic. And then you get a very nice picture in the viewport. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So you see that's still running real time here.
Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance.
That looks like a good thumbnail. It's off actually. That's one thing I need to point out. The moment you've done face capture, you gotta always switch that off because it's easy to forget, and then basically back on. Let's see here. So it's easy to forget. We're working on a fix for that. But you saw how my head kept turning.
The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness.
Let's see. Yeah. All right, that's my thumbnail. All right, cool. I'm gonna call it a day, and yeah, I'm gonna like have a play. Let me know if you run into any issues. We have a Discord to ask a lot of questions. Our whole team is on there to help out, and then I'll do another one of these on Friday morning. I'm trying to kind of find a couple of different time zones, and I'll try to do like 3 of them a week. All right, thank you very much for watching.